Hey, welcome to Coffee with Chris. This is a weekly show that we do, typically on the weekends, in addition to our normal videos. And this is just a way for us to have a conversation from both sides of the camera. Usually I present a topic every week, and then I take the comments, read them, go through them, answer them, and then we just have a dialogue. We also like for you to send build videos in or build pictures in of things you're working on, so we can share those with everyone as well. So let's get going. Well, good morning and welcome to this week's episode of Coffee with Chris. I'm so glad you've joined me. And man, it's been a busy week. I said last week in the video that we had family coming in a week. Well, that's today. And so I'm actually filming this a little earlier in the morning than I normally do. And my wife is still sleeping on the other end of the house. So I'm going to try not to talk quite as loud as I normally talk. I'll have to turn the volume up when I edit the video. But man, it's been a busy week, along with building the router table at the beginning of the week and getting that video out on Wednesday. I spent the rest of the week just doing a little shop cleanup that we all do in our shops, and then yard work, man. And I was behind on the yard work anyways, and between that and I think I mentioned last week getting the pool ready, man, it's been a busy week. But pretty much there, and the family will be here. They drive from 2 hours north of us, from the country where hopefully we'll be at here in 3 or 4 years, and they drive down to the city down here, down to town, and come visit us for a day. One time a year we do a pool party, where we cook out and barbecue and just everybody has fun. And normally we go up there and hang out and do things, but one time a year they come down here, everybody, and visits us in town. So on top of all that, I got poison ivy covering my arms. I about got rid of it, I think, but I spent the last week dealing with poison ivy that I got doing some yard cleanup. And if you guys saw the video on Wednesday, my foot is very sore from dropping the router table cabinet on my foot when we were trying to move it. And so it's been a busy, fun, and semi-painful week. So I'm glad to be sitting here in my comfy chair in my office filming this video instead of out doing something else right now this early on a Saturday morning. So, but I'm glad you're here with me, and let's get talking about our stuff for this week. Now, before we get going on this week's topic, we did have a couple submissions this week. Remember, man, send me your builds. Send me photos, send me videos of your builds. I'd love to share those with everyone, as always. We usually have a couple a week. I don't mind doing more, so get those sent in to me, please. Things you're working on, things you're building, even if it's not finished or whatever stage it's in, man, it doesn't matter if it's simple or something big. So, but this week I've got a couple of pictures and submissions here from Chad. Chad sent us a few weeks ago, if you'll remember, he sent some carvings that he did, and so he sent some more in this week. I'd asked him to send in pictures of his furniture that he had built for inside of his house, so he did that for me, man, and I appreciate that. He did, along with the pictures, he did say, hey Chris, these are a few of the furniture projects that I've been working on for the past few years. They said, I enjoy seeing the projects other people make and the encouragement you give out to the makers, and give people a chance to ask questions and give suggestions to their questions, and allowing people to give their opinions about the woodworking subjects. Man, that's the whole reason for this video, bud, and that's it's something when I first started, actually before I first started the channel, You know, like I said, I've said a million times before, I watch a lot of YouTube and I watch a lot of woodworking YouTube, and just hadn't really seen anything in this type of format. And I wanted to make build videos and shop videos and things like we do also on the channel here, but something from the very get go I had in my head is something like this where I could just sit and talk. Um, my wife gets tired of me talking sometimes. I'm kidding, but maybe she does. But it gives me the opportunity for us to just have some little dialogue, and it's nothing serious, nothing crazy, but just I think it's fun. I really enjoyed doing it, so I'm glad you've enjoyed listening to it and watching them. And thanks for sending in your stuff. He also says, keep up the good work and good news, spreading the good news about Jesus Christ. Man, I'm 100% going to continue to do that, man. That is, I've said many times before, my testimony is my story. And I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for my faith and my belief in Jesus. So that's always going to be part of this channel, man. So let's get to it, bud. Let's say this first one here. He says this is a cabinet made out of pallet wood. The top is burnt and is wood burnt, and the white in the doors is deer hide from a deer that he got during the season. So and then he said, and then that's been burnt on. So man, that's very unique. Using the hide of the deer as part of the build, as part of the decor of the build. And I tell you, when I saw this picture, I didn't know what that white was. I don't know if it's painted or, I didn't know what that was. But when you said it, when I read the description, I was like, okay. And so, man, that is super unique. And I'll tell you, this is a piece of furniture that my brother-in-law, one of my two brother-in-laws, one of them has a cabin. His house is a cabin that we built. Big cabin, not a little small one, but everything in it is wood and cedar. But this is a piece that he would like. This is something that he would put in his house. It would go in his house and go with his decor. And man, I think it's super cool. It's something that if you hunt and you're an outdoorsman and you're into that kind of thing, you would like having a piece like that in your room. So the next one here is going to be, it says is a coffee bar or coffee/tea bar with a trash bin storage, and it's made out of red oak. Again, something that would be very helpful and useful to have. Obviously, I wouldn't mind having a coffee bar because one of my cabinets is my coffee bar. So, and red oak, man, I think red oak makes just classic looking furniture. And that's exactly what this is. It looks like a classic piece. To me, it's like a timeless design. It's just clean lines, a little bit of, I'm gonna call it beveling, chamfering, as far as the decor and the way you did the drawers and the rest of it. And to me, that just, man, it's timeless. And again, very useful purpose. So great job. And then this last one here is my favorite of the three. And this is our dining table. It says our dining table, all the legs, chairs, bench, and table are made out of 2x4s and 2x6s. Man, that was a huge trend a few years ago. There was a ton of videos on YouTube of 2x4 living room furniture, kitchen furniture, using the 2x4s as the legs, doing the cross pattern, the kind of the X pattern. I actually had intended to build several pieces myself last year, and I made some pieces for clients, and never got any done for myself. And but so the legs, the benches are made out of 2x4s, 2x6s. Says the maroon colored wood is Brazilian redwood. Those are the outside boards on the tabletop and the backs of the chairs. And the orange colored wood and some of the dark brown stripes is tiger wood. I think I put in my response to you, I've never worked with tiger wood. I think it's beautiful, beautiful. And man, it was super cool to see that. And my favorite thing about this whole build, I like the colors on the table and the chairs. Like I said, it's my favorite piece that you submitted. My favorite thing, though, is that you blended that Brazilian redwood and the tiger wood, along with 2x4s and 2x6s, and made a really cool piece. And I think that's something people need to take note of is you don't have to, you can use, let me see how I'm trying to say this. You can use some of the big box lumber, the 2x4s and 2x6s. I think a lot of people get knocked on doing that. Like, oh, it's using construction lumber or whatever it is. But this is a perfect example of how you can blend that for a useful purpose with some beautiful hardwood. And man, I would put that table and chair set and bench in my dining room, in my eating kitchen area any day, my man. And so it's a beautiful example of blending some of those easier to get materials with some of that beautiful hardwood. And kind of inspires me to maybe do an end table or something like that and blend together some stuff. I did a few last year where I had some magnolia on the top and just the kind of basic end table bottom. And in fact, this piece here is, I don't know if we could see it on the video, but this table here is, let me see if I can get it on there. One that I did last year, repurposing. Oh, there it is. Let's zoom it in. This is Redneck Production 101 right here, guys. But that's something I did with some walnut and, all right, I got us back. But yeah, man, I love when you take things that are, simple, basic, classic, and add just a twist to it with some really nice hardwood or something, man. So great job, Chad, man. Thank you so much for sending those in. And man, hey, you do some more stuff, keep coming with it. So I want to go over this week's topic. And what we talked about this past week, guys, was your shop setup, organization for the various ways you use it. So, if you're just a hobbyist on the weekend, if your garage shares space with the cars and the bicycles and all that stuff, or if you have a full-time Etsy business where you run a lot of product through and you batch out things, whatever the case is, I was curious to how people have their shops set up or their spaces organized to line out with those types of woodworking or those systems of woodworking. And I only got a couple responses on that this week. So we're going to actually run that another week because I really would love to get some more input on that. And also, like I said last week, send me in videos, just like a pan of your shop or however long you want. Send those to email, and I'd love to share that, with the descriptions and explanations. But man, if somebody's got one, we'll run this one more week, and I'd like for you to send those in, and because again, I'd love to see that space, and I think it's very helpful. The reason why I wanted to do this is really helpful for new woodworkers. I have people that email me and have put comments on videos or email me, talking about, I don't really know how to set it up. I don't really know how to get started with setup, things like that. This is what I think I want to do, what I want to build, what I want to make. And so I was hoping this would be some kind of inspiration for some newer woodworkers if they're watching this. So, man, if you guys have your stuff set up and you're ready to go, send in those videos. Now, some of these responses I want to go over that I do have, and a couple of them are quite lengthy, so just bear with me. But there's a caveat to one of them especially. So first comment we had was from my brother-in-law, not the one with the cabin house, but the one that does the wood carving that I've talked about on here and made a video with about a month or so ago. But his YouTube channel, by the way, I'll plug for it. It's Good Fruit Production with no S, and he does some wood carving on there. He's just now kind of getting it going. He does some wood carving stuff, and he's also got some cool drone videos. He's into flying drones, and man, go check out his thing, Good Fruit Production, and check out his channel, man, and support my brother-in-law if that's something you're into. But he says, I'm a wood carver, so my shop is very minimal. Mostly a fold-out table with my toolbox on it, a lawn chair, and a Dremel. Simple and portable. And if you watch some of his carving videos, that's what he's doing. He's outside his house and just having fun and going to town with a simple setup. So, Mike, thanks for sending that in, bud. And so the next one is going to be our friends at Alden Elm Woodworking. And he says, "Hi, Chris. My shop is a mess right now. I'm working on renovating a new to me building that will be my shop in coming months. I have been uploading shorts to my YouTube channel to catalog my progress." So yeah, Alden Elm Woodworking. If you don't follow him, any of you guys don't follow Alden Elm, check out their YouTube channel as well. And he does. He's got a pretty good lengthy library of video shorts where he's been going through this, like he calls it, a new to him building, and he's working on getting it ready to be his actual shop. He says he's working out of his garage right now. So check that out, and kind of, YouTube shorts, I think 3 minutes is the time limit. So if you got some time, grab some coffee one day and you can kind of knock out and watch his progression through a lot of those shorts. And it's pretty cool to see kind of the renovation stages and renovation progress. And man, I look forward to when he gets this thing ready to go. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And I look forward to one day having a separated building from the house for a shop as well. So I'll be keeping an eye on what he does and maybe taking notes in case I come across that opportunity. But he says, up until now, I've been working out of my garage, and I have a table saw right inside the door so I can open it for more in-feed room. I have a pen lathe, drill press, and planer on the left wall because electric outlets are available there. And I have my joiner to the right of the table saw because I ran 240 power to the roof support pillar for the table saw and the jointer. The flow works well, single person setup. Yeah, I mean, so obviously this is probably going to all change a little bit once you get your shop ready to go. But I've seen a lot of people that have garage shops like I do and you've been using, and they do in fact put their table saw close to their door. So if they got a big piece of plywood, 4x8 sheet or something, you can put the door up and have more room to kind of back up and run things through. I do the same thing, and so mine's not right inside, but I need room if I'm doing a full sheet. It's pretty close. So, and then where do you got electric? Now, when I first kind of started this woodworking journey or business, I had some more electric added to my garage because I only had 2 outlets in the whole garage. They're on opposite corners of the garage, and one has our extra freezer plugged into it, and it's also, this house was built in the 70s, and I don't know, it had some weird wiring, but when we got it, but it's also a GFCI that's tied into the back corner of our house where the pool pump and some of the equipment is somehow linked into the GFCI in the garage, which is on the back and front of the house. I don't know why or how they did that. Being a home inspector when we moved in here, that just baffled me. But I mean, it functions, it works. So, I'm not going to rewire all that so I didn't want to use that outlet. Obviously I was taken up by the freezer and the GFCI for the pool pump. So we didn't want to mess with any of that stuff. The other outlet has a sprinkler system hooked up to it. And, so I only had one outlet available. So, I had some outlets added in when I needed to run all this other equipment and put in these other tools. So, that's not cheap by any means, but you gotta create outlets. And so if you've got your outlets along one wall, absolutely you got to kind of position your things to be over there. And then having a drop down, I do the same thing. I had one put in the ceiling, and that's my drop down for my table saw. And if you watch the videos and my big dust collection. So, and then has a few extra outlets on it I use for, hand tools and things on my workbench. So, pardon me. But, so that sounds like a garage setup. And man, but again, I can't wait to keep watching your progress on your builds. I've been watching and keeping up with those and, on your shop, and certainly can't wait till that gets ready to go. So our friend M Blackford 100, he said, "Hey Chris, I'm just getting serious about woodworking as a hobby, so my shop is a work of chaos at the moment." Seems to be a theme. We hear that a lot. I use mine every day, man, and mine stays in chaos. So Don't feel bad about that. Um, but for years, I worked in an HVAC contractor who had a shop set up to manufacture ductwork. It was laid out to be the most efficient it could be for the space he had. He used the most used machines like the cleat bender, kick shear, and certain brakes. I have no idea what those are, but they sound important for that process. Were set in sequential order so he could just move to the next step in whatever piece you're building. I think a wood shop should be similar. You know that you'll likely use your table saw than your miter saw, so place them close to each other so that you don't have to walk back and forth across the shop. Yeah, and that's the that's the woodworking triangle, right? Kind of like in a kitchen where you got your sink, your oven, and your refrigerator, kind of in a triangle. When people design kitchens, a lot of times, same thing on a shop. You have your like your breakdown triangles. You've got your miter saw, your table saw, bandsaw. My bandsaw, when we did the first shop tour video, I had that kind of that square, that triangle set up. My bandsaw is still very close to my miter saw and table saw. It's just down the wall just a little bit, simply because of the way I do the electrical. But yeah, so that kind of that triangle really creates an efficiency. Or anything you're doing. You know, if you need extra counter space, if you have a paint booth area, whatever it is you got your shop set up, I think having things in an order of production definitely makes a big difference, especially when you're doing big amounts of stuff. If you're, like I said, like a lot of us, we're just doing one-off things a lot of times or whatnot. You know, as long as you got some room to put stuff and move around, that's probably okay. But especially from a production standpoint, for batching things out, yeah, having a system in place, definitely critical, I think, definitely important. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube talking about shop setup or people giving their opinions. And most of them, not all of them, but most of them they totally follow the idea of setting things up with your workflow. So, yeah, great perspective, and you're absolutely right. And then our last one is from Jack in the Shop. Jack in the Shop, I looked up his channel. Looks like he's made some videos for quite a while. And now he does, from what I gathered on the videos, he does a lot of CNC and things. So it's a great perspective because that was really what, you know, one of our topics week before last is technology blending together. And his comment really kind of pertains to that and not so much the workflow at the shop, but it's great perspective. So let's get into it. He says, so some people think a CNC or a laser is just like hitting print and a product pops out. That is not the case. And I know that because I'm working on learning that. A CNC is no different than using a saw guide. Some people draw their designs on paper and glue it to the wood and use saw guides. Some people draw their designs on a computer and project it to the wood. Your machine is like a shop employee, and that's scary. You could do all of your work yourself and make the entire project fixing problems as they come up. There are a lot of little tasks in woodworking that is like breathing. It comes as second nature. You do them without even thinking about it. With a CNC, you have to tell the machine every single step to do and to make while still looking over its shoulder to make sure it's doing what you told it to. Just like training a new person in the shop. Again, that's a scary thought. For anybody that's trained somebody in a shop or in any other aspect of business or work, you know, I have a big of a headache that can be. He says even worse in some cases. So it could be worse than training a new person. The machine does not know how to avoid clamps, slow down in harder woods, or even stop when something goes wrong, just to mention a few things. It says, what are you going to do when your design comes up to a knot in the wood? Is the machine going to know how to handle that? It says all that to say you're working with the wood no matter what tools you decide to use. So yeah, he's really talking about the what we talked about last week as far as is technology woodworking. And yeah, and that's the conclusion I've come to, is that you really are still working the wood. You're still having to put it through a process, whether a machine is doing some of the cutting or the burning or whatever, or you're physically cutting with a saw. Like somebody said last week, you know, people that only want to use hand saws, they think using a electric skill saw is cheating, you know, or whatever. So, yeah, so that's a great perspective on what we were talking about. Is the machines are still they're doing the work, but you're still involved in the setup, the monitoring, the troubleshooting. And of course, the fancier the machines, the higher tech the machines, the more maintenance it has to be done, the harder it is to do the maintenance sometimes. So not only with the technology stuff, you got to still monitor it, still program it, still set it up, still watch it, but you also got a lot of times more maintenance on the actual equipment itself. So, it can be argued that there's more involved in using the technology than using simple hand tools or our common shop tools. So, but yeah, I mean, great perspectives, man. Jack, I'm assuming your name is Jack in the shop. So thanks for sending that in. And I'm going to check out some more of your videos as well, because like I said, the technology woodworking niche is newer to me, just now getting into it. And so I've been kind of watching some more videos on stuff like that to kind of just get a sense of what you can do and not do and that sort of thing. So, but man, thanks for the comments, guys, those of you that sent them in. And again, guys, please keep sending in build videos or build pictures and explanations or whatever you want to send with them. I'd love to share them. I want to continue to do that and just continue to help grow the community and give people inspiration from other makers' builds. Really, that's what it's about. Is hope I see something and they go, oh, I want to try to make that. And so keep sending those in. Here's my email one more time. Send those in for me, and I'll continue to share them on the channel here. So, like I said, for next week, normally we have something different every week. I want to hang on to this same topic for one more week. I know that's probably not as fun for you guys that comment every week, but I want to hold on to this for one more week and see if we can get a video or two or some more descriptions sent in of shop layout, shop organization, shop setup for the various applications that you use in your shop. Again, I really want, I'm doing this for this topic for new guys, or I mean, it could be old woodworkers too, but new woodworkers that are, curious or trying to figure out how they want to set their stuff up. So having a small video or something would be great. So man, send those in, guys. If you're watching this and you've got a shop set up in any way, shape, or form, send me a little quick video in so we can put it on here and give some inspiration, hopefully, to some people. All right, that's all we got for this week, guys. So one more week on the shop tour or shop setup conversation or topic. Send me those videos in, and let's see if we can inspire some new woodworkers on your setups. It's going to be a busy, long day today. I'm going to be exhausted at the end of the day. Always am. But it's always a great time with family and just cooking and hanging out. And little teaser real quick before I go. A lot of people requested it after we offered it. So this next week's video on More Than Sawdust on the channel is going to be that spreadsheet video that my wife's going to do. A lot of people requested it, what we use for our spreadsheet for our woodworking business, how we keep up with all of those finances and monies for the year. So she's going to do the tutorial video this week. And now I'm committing to it, so she's got to do it for me. But that's going to be video coming out this coming week, this next week on the channel is going to be the Excel spreadsheet tutorial for our woodworking business. So I'm looking forward to getting that put out because a lot of people sending emails and sending comments requesting to get that. So that's going to be this week's video. Check it out when it comes out, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. And we'll see you guys soon. Y'all take care. God bless.